Thank you for coming to the Montclair City Council meeting. We'll begin the meeting right now. And we usually begin the meeting with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll do the Pledge of Allegiance today, but who will be doing the invocation then?
All right, the invocation will be led by Bishop Eric Francis of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Great. Is Eric here? Come on up to the front. I think your lift was on.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to gather today. We are grateful to live in a country that allows us to work together and to have civil discourse, to be able to build our communities. We ask you to please bless this community, please bless the leaders of the community, that they will continue to strive to do their best to help this city to grow and to become the greatest city around. We ask you to please bless all those here and all the people of this city, that they will be able to find peace and be able to work together. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Very much. Last Saturday, we celebrate the 250th anniversary of this great country of ours. And obviously, one of the documents from July 4th, 1776, started with "We the People." So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance as we celebrate "We the People" of this great country, the United States. I pledge America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we have three presentations this evening.
Right.
We have a proclamation that we'll be doing, and then we'll be following that by recognizing two of our commissioners, outgoing commissioners, and then finally we'll finish off with the 2026 Home Presentation Awards.
Okay,
So
should I
I'll
do roll
begin
call first,
with the
Mr. Mayor?
presentations. I'm sorry, and you
Roll
got to do
call?
the roll call first.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So first, I would like to state for the record that Councilmember Lopez and Mayor Pro Tem Martinez will not be in attendance at tonight's meeting and have been excused. Okay, Councilmember Mendez,
Here.
Councilmember Rue,
Present.
and Mayor Dutray.
President, thank you. So we will begin now with the three presentations. I'm going to ask that Ashley Ayala from Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez's office, Julianne Hines from Senator Susan Rubio's office, and then Matt Trabert from Congressman Torres' office. Please join me here at the bottom, and then my colleagues join me as well. Well, thank you. First of all, we're going to start with the proclamation. You're with the Congressman. Come on over here. You stand next to me first. Yes, sir. Okay, I didn't want to make a mistake. As we know that last Saturday, this nation celebrated the 205th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And obviously, this is a very important document for our nation, and continues to be a great document, and obviously a great document that has led to a great government. Not a perfect government, still room for improvement, as we all know, but we live in a nation that's very prosperous, a nation where you have an opportunity to do well in this nation. So it is our great pleasure on behalf of the City of Montclair, myself and my council colleagues, that we recognize this nation's coincidental in celebrating the 205th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And of course, this is of the United States of America, so we would like to give this to Congressman Torres' office. Thank you very much. If you want to stay right here, you're welcome to do so. And then you two ladies want to stand on one on each side if you like. And I'm sorry, you're with Michelle Rodriguez, and obviously you're with Senator Rubio. And so this is also a significant year. Back in June 15, 1846, during the Mexican-American War, This republic, the California Republic, became a statehood of a great country called the United States of America. So this state has now celebrated 175 years of not just a number, but 175 years of greatness. Obviously, the state of California is one of the largest states in the country in terms of population. It has one of the largest economics, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. I believe we'll be, if we were a country, we'll be in the top 20. Great innovations have come out of the state of California. Great pioneers have come out of the state of California. And obviously, this is also a state of diversity, much diversity in the state of California. So it's my great pleasure on behalf of the city of Montclair, myself, and my council colleagues, that we recognize the 170th anniversary of California statehood. So I'm going to give each one of you, each office who represent the city of Montclair, a proclamation. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome to stay, if you'd like to stay up here. At this time, I'm going to ask all the, first of all of our current planning, well, first of all, we have two new planning commissioners. Not planning commissioners, excuse me, community activity commissioners. Can you please stand? All right. Great, welcome, welcome. And you see. Announce their names, please.
Hello, we're happy to have with us Mr. Ernest Miller. Center every day, practically, yes. So we're happy to have both of you as members of the Community Activities Commission. We're sorry to see our other two retiring, but I'm sure you'll still stay busy in the community. But welcome to Diane and Ernest.
You two come on up. Diane and Ernest, come on up. You're going to join us up here. Get a chance to meet you finally. Welcome. And welcome. And I want to ask the rest of the commissioners to come up too, as you recognize your two outgoing commissioners. Come on up, guys. Come on up, Lori. And if you don't mind, I'm going to put Diane and Darlene, excuse me. Diane's not going anywhere. Darlene, you have to come up. You're on my right. Miss Millheiser's on my left. Okay. So, Xavier, you're going to be in charge of the plaques. So we're going to start with the plaques. So I'll start with this. Both Lori and Darlene served a great purpose in the city of Montclair by being on the formerly known as the Community Activity Committee. Community Action Committee, thank you very much. And then from there, you were able to vote to change the name to the Community Activities Commission. Both of you have played a big role in many of the activities, events here in the city of Montclair. I know you put a lot of time into it. You only get paid, what, $50 a meeting? So you're really volunteers, not just coming to the committee meetings or commission meetings, but also all the events that Marcia tells you need to attend, right? Okay. I really appreciate, I know both Bill and Xavier and your colleagues, staff, also appreciate the hard work and determination that you gave to the city of Montclair, and it's greatly appreciated. So I have a couple plaques. Xavier's gonna help me. Darlene. And then we got two more things, or one more thing for each. The famous M. You get a famous M as you're outgoing. So, Mr. Millheiser, you cannot keep the famous M. That's not your M. Okay, I know your last name is Millheiser, but you can't keep it. So I know we have some. Go ahead, come on in.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julianne Hines from the Office of State Senator Susan Rubio. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for all that you do. But I also want to say thank you, real quick, moment of personal privilege. The senator held a community coffee here at the Montclair Senior Center a few weeks ago. It was phenomenal. And so I just want to say thank you to all the citizens, all of the staff who came out and participated, and particularly to the staff over at the Senior Center. And Randy and everybody did such a wonderful, wonderful job. And so thank you for your hospitality. But congratulations to you both, and thank you for all your service.
Everybody, my name is Ashley, and I'm the field representative for Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez. And I would love to thank so much these ladies for giving their time to the community. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for the time you invested here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your tremendous amount of service, and sincere apologies from the Congresswoman for not being here right now. She was supposed to be here, but has unfortunately come down with a momentary health issue, so she's been a little tied up there. Rest assured, she's gonna be just fine. She's gonna bounce back stronger than ever. But thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here on her behalf.
Thank you.
John, you're actually asking me if I have something to say? When I was 20 years old, I got a job with the city of Montclair as the receptionist. It took me about 5 minutes to know that I wanted to make a career in local government. The city leadership supported me, encouraged me, and mentored me. And the most important thing they did for me is they gave me my first management job. Most of you who've been through that know that's the hardest one to get. So I have been blessed to have been part of this community for a long time. Most importantly, though, one of my duties in my first management job was to staff the Community Action Committee. So when I retired 12 years ago, 13 years ago, one of the first things I wanted to do was get appointed to this commission. So I want to start by thanking the 4 city councils who've given me that opportunity. I want to acknowledge my colleagues and all of the others I've worked with over the years. We have done good work. I am proud of you, and I am grateful and blessed to have all of you as my friends. I also want to thank the amazing staff. How many human services staff are here? Could you wave your hands for me so I know? There you are. Okay, thank you. You guys are tireless, amazingly creative, and you always make us look good. Thank you. But mostly, I want to thank the amazing Marcia Richter. Marcia started her career at about the same age I did, but she stuck it out and has done some astonishing things here. Marcia, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your wisdom. You know what I mean? Thank you. And thank you for your friendship. God bless you all. God bless Montclair.
You to the council and to the staff that have supported us through all this adventure. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve the city.
Thank you very much. And I know my wife is not here today. I thought she was going to be here today. But nevertheless, obviously, you will continue to do the food pantry. And so my wife she coordinates that. And of course, you're basically my next door neighbor, so you know where to find me.
I do.
I know where to find you too. We'll do some pictures. Well, thank you. Before you go, Bill, do you want to say something, Bill?
Excuse me. I am privileged to have been the council liaison to many, many terms of the CAC. I've gone through and seen so many different CAC commissioners, their hard work And I know Lori and Darlene, you live for this city. You've been a part of the journey of the changes we have at the CAC, and I appreciate so much everything you've done. I think of both of you as friends, and you know where to find us. You're always a part of this family. Thank you for everything you've done.
Well, obviously, I haven't been a council member as long as these two have, but I did work with everybody because I worked for the city for so long. But I just want to say thank you both. I have relationships with both of you too, and got to work with you guys. And thank you for everything that you've done because, you know, without volunteers, you know, we don't have everything and we can't do everything. But we do appreciate everything that both of you have done for the city of Montclair. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And then appreciate being here. And we'll go on to the next side of the program. So if you don't mind, go back to your seats. I know. So now we'll do the mayor's introduction of the home beautification program. And as part of the city's ongoing efforts to encourage pride and community spirit, the Montclair Community Activities Commission has sponsored its annual beautification program. So at this time, I'd like to ask and Vice Chair Diane Wells, who will be announcing the winners. There she is.
Thank you, Mayor Dutre. For the past 31 years, the Community Activities Commission has sponsored the Home Beautification Program to recognize Montclair residents who demonstrate their community pride through their upkeep and maintenance of their homes. This year, 15 homes were nominated by members of the Community Activities Commission and the Community Development Department. There were 2 judging categories: traditional landscape and drought-tolerant landscape. 1 winner was selected in each category. We will be showing you a presentation of the winning homes, accompanied by a brief description. As you will see, the winners should be very proud of the work they have done to maintain their homes and property. Each winner will receive a framed certificate and a gift card to a Montclair restaurant or business of their choice. Later, they will also receive a sign to be placed in the front yard announcing their award. Our first honored winner is Joe Gallegos, whose home is located at 5519 Cambridge Street. This is Joe's first time winning the Home Beautification Program's Traditional Home of the Year award. Although Joe has lived in his home for only 7 months, he has already embraced the opportunity to enhance and care for his property. The home's landscape was beautifully designed by the previous homeowners, and Joe has continued to preserve its charm while adding his own personal touches. His mother has contributed beautiful flowers throughout the yard, adding vibrant pops of color that complement the existing landscape with a modern touch. As you approach the home, you are welcomed by an American flag proudly displayed in the front yard. The yard is filled with greenery that creates a warm and inviting appearance. Beautiful landscape lighting is placed throughout the front yard, creating a modern and tranquil display during the evening hours, while highlighting the home's landscaping and walkway. In the corner of the front yard, there's a tree with soil and blue fescue surrounding it. Joe and his family enjoy living in the neighborhood because it is peaceful and quiet. Surrounding the house, you can see New Zealand flax. Beautiful bright red oleander flowers are on the left side of the walkway, and on the right side there are more New Zealand flax plants. While the original landscape provided an excellent foundation, he looks forward to adding even more features to the front yard in the years to come, making it uniquely his own. Congratulations to Joe Gallegos. for winning the 2026 Traditional Home of the Year Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Did you say something? Yeah, go ahead. I've been here for about 7 months now. I'm a combat armed veteran and a retired police captain. And the city is a great city to live in. Police force is great. The sheriff's office is fantastic. So I want to thank you for this opportunity to be with you. Children. Very good, very good.
Our second honored winner is Esperanza Polanco, whose drought-tolerant home is located at 9091 Ramona Avenue. Esperanza has lived in her home for 24 years and takes great pride in maintaining her beautiful front yard. While she and her family were recognized during the city's 2024 Holiday Home Decoration Contest, this is her first time receiving the Home Beautification Award for the drought-tolerant home. Esperanza personally designed and maintains the landscape with assistance from her sons. Her front yard is a wonderful example of her drought-tolerant landscaping can be both environmentally friendly and visually appealing with a desert design. The yard features a variety of drought-tolerant plants, including beautiful cactus and other plants that thrive in our local climate. There are rocks which border and help define the landscape while providing an attractive contrast to the greenery. Throughout the yard, visitors will find charming desert-like statues and delightful wind chimes that add both character and movement to the design. These thoughtful touches come together to create a peaceful and welcoming space that highlights Esperanza's unique creativity and hard work. Congratulations to Esperanza Polanco for winning the 2026 Drought Tolerant Home of the Year Award.
Not sure if my council colleague, you want to say something, Bill?
As a lifetime resident of the city, it's always wonderful to see people who want to improve their home and go ahead and do so, come up with creative ideas to do it, and we appreciate everything. Thank you to the Gallegos family and the Polanco family for what you have done. It is beautiful. Thank you.
Also like to say congratulations both families for their homes. They're both beautiful. It's really nice. I've lived in the city pretty much my whole life, or have been in the city my whole life, but it's nice to see pride of ownership and people taking care and maintaining their homes and their properties. All it takes is a little bit of work, and it's nice to see that. So thank you both for everything, and maybe some other neighborhoods will start looking like that also.
Well, great. And again, I want to say congratulations to you too. Thank you for making our city beautiful. And I want to also say thank you to our Community Activities Commission. And thank you, Diane. Of course, Rosa is the chair, but let's recognize Rosa Regale as being the chair of the commission. And with that, I just want to say that we're done with the presentations. We'll continue on the council meeting. If you want to leave now, this is a good time. Obviously, you want to stay, you also can stay. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to public comment. This is an opportunity for members to address the city council on any matters not listed on the agenda that falls within the city's subject matter, or any item listed under the consent calendar or business item. Public comments related to public hearing. No, there's no public hearing item today. Well, there's public comments related to the public hearing item will be taken when that item is heard later in the agenda. Speakers will have 5 minutes to address the city council on non-agenda items and an additional 5 minutes on any consent calendar business items. If there's obviously a high number of speakers, city council may reduce the time limit. Public comments will begin with speakers in the council chambers, and then of course, starting our first meeting will be followed by speakers that can participate remotely. Under the Brown Act, the city council may not engage in discussion or take action on items not on the agenda except for a brief response provided by staff or a council member. To address the city council, please complete a speaker card located at the front door. On my left is submitted to the city clerk staff on my right. Or if you're participating by remotely or on Zoom, please indicate through your electronic device that you wish to speak. And then we'll stop there. But again, today is the first meeting we're doing remote on Zoom. So again, if you wish to speak on Zoom, please indicate, or on phone, please indicate by the device that requires you to raise your hand and request to speak. So at this time, I'm going to ask the city clerk, will we have any speakers?
Yes, we have 7 speakers in the council chambers, and we have no speakers on Zoom. The first speaker is Ashley Ayala from the Office of Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez.
Hi, I know you guys just saw me, but I wanted to formally introduce myself as the new field representative for the Office of Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez. My name is Ashley, and I'm proud to be representing the city of Montclair going forward. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Teresa Preciado, followed by Juan Delgado.
Hello.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'd like to reintroduce myself. I am Teresa Preciado, the business agent for Teamsters Local 1932. I represent Public Works and the employees at City Hall. I'm here to speak about the ongoing frustrations that we as a collective whole have experienced through this bargaining process. The city has failed to bargain in good faith for a successor MOU. Instead, it has repeatedly delayed negotiations, prolonging this process while demonstrating a level of disrespect that has been impossible to ignore. As a result, our contract is now expired. I'm asking you today to reflect on a decision that this council made in 2023. You voted to increase the city manager's salary from 15% to 18%. Even though your city manager already earns an average approximately $100,000 more than city managers in comparable cities. At the same time, the employees who keep the city running have gone without salary increases. While the city has been willing to invest in the city manager's salary, it has refused to invest in the workforce that maintains your vital city services by providing fair wages, affordable health care, and the resources necessary to recruit and retain qualified employees. Today, many of the city employees that are standing behind me earn between 6% upwards to 21% below the median average compensation for comparable positions in surrounding cities. As elected officials who have been chosen by the public, you have a responsibility to support your workforce that delivers these essential services to this community every day. That responsibility includes negotiating in good faith, ensuring that employees are compensated fairly for the work that they perform daily. I urge you to do the right thing, return to the bargaining table, prepared to negotiate in earnest, and reach a fair agreement and finalize a contract. Thank you.
Juan Delgado, followed by Carlos Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. First, I want to thank you for your service, for you volunteering to take on this responsibility as a council member, because it is an elected position and you chose to take the position. With that, I was looking to see what the core responsibilities of a city council member are. And they are passing local laws, overseeing city budget and tax rates, supervising city departments and employees, and advocating for residents of the city. So that struck me, and I looked up the definition, the dictionary definition of an advocate. And the definition of an advocate is a person who publicly supports and recommends and pleads for a specific cause, policy, or another person. The reason that's important is that as an elected city council member, I want to remind you that you have a fiduciary responsibility to your residents and employees, not the whims of a city manager that is bringing reproach to the city, residents, and employees. I am asking that you step into the current negotiations for the Montclair Teamster employees and do right by them for the residents and the city and the services they provide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Carlos Gonzalez, followed by Richard Herrera.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Carlos Gonzalez. I'm with Teamsters Local 1932. And our members here have been struggling to get a fair contract for a long time. And I feel that the reason they haven't, I'm gonna put it plain and simple, it's just been union busting. Not by the council, but by your city manager. Mr. Edward Starr is not in favor of Teamsters Local 1932. He would prefer the old association, the Alphabet Soup Association, that he was able to control at his whim, give whatever he wanted, and that was the end of the day. Negotiations probably lasted a couple days, if that, because it was either just take it or leave it. And what's interesting is that's not just that group. Your fire, your PD. This is a training ground because you don't provide proper benefits. You don't provide proper pay. It's not just a Teamster issue, it's a city employee issue. So I did a little research as to 2010, Mr. Edward Starr became your official city manager. And in that, it was during difficult times, and he didn't take a pay increase. And this is direct from the press enterprise. And the reason, just so you know, the reason the 1% is offered in a one-year deal is that so he could try to bust the union again. But the reality is that they tell us in there this because it's financial uncertainties within the city. That's what we're constantly told. So this is a quote from Mr. Edward Starr in 2010. During the financial difficulties of when he didn't take that salary. Recognizing the financial difficulties the city has, I am not going to be accepting a salary increase. I think that is an indication of the type of people in this organization that are willing to make sacrifices so that the organization as a whole can continue to operate effectively and efficiently, Starr said, so that every employee in the organization sees that we are in this together, that we are all suffering together during this difficult economic time. Starr said he is confident that under his leadership and with the help of staff, the city will be able to take on the economic challenges and thrive once again. An 18% increase is not being on this altogether. A 90,000 increase in benefit package is not being in this together. So they thrive, the city thrived because we're being told that it's financial uncertainty. So is Mr. Edward Starr just not doing his job properly? That's why the city's always in financial distress, according to them? Or is it they're just holding the purse strings? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this 18% increase, to my understanding, he's gonna retire pretty soon, probably realistically within a year, so he could pad his retirement and his purse. Because now he doesn't care about being in all this together. Now it's about Mr. Edward Starr. And forget your police department, forget your fire department, and forget your city workers. And we're not gonna forget that. Thank you.
Here is Richard Herrera, followed by Ms. or Mr. Dale. Oh, sorry, Dale Roberts.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, City Council. My name's Richard Herrera. I'm the Public Works Parks Lead Worker and also the shop steward for Teamsters 1932. And we just want to encourage you guys to please help out with the negotiations. Let them know to negotiate in good faith. We have a lot of good workers here, and I've been here for almost 10 years, and I've seen a lot of workers leave, and all the reasons they leave is for money. We don't get paid enough at this city, they go somewhere else to get paid more. So I please encourage you to help us with the negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Mr. Dale Roberts, followed by Alice Garcia.
Well, I didn't know it, but I am blessed today. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a person that has treated me super well, and I'm not of his caliber. And let me say his name is Mr. Milhauser. I guess he's already left the room. But this is a person that every time he saw me on the street, which was multiple times, he called me by my name. I know none of you know me. You don't need to know me. All you need to know is that I'm here to look after the people that nobody here will look after. Now, I don't know why the city attorney has not addressed the police department's negligence and laziness in enforcing the ADA rules. Now, I'm going to tell you, none of you know, I got hit by a truck on State Street, and I was left for dead, okay? When I came through, there was a big pile of blood there, okay? And it was already dry on my head. That's how long I laid there along State Street. Now, somebody in this city, there's people in this city that believes that the parking down there, west of Greenwood, across the address known as 4848 Mission Boulevard, that dirt area is not a walk area. I'm here to inform you that is a walk area. And if somebody gets hit there, you can bet I will be the first one rushing to that attorney suing the city. Because I'm tired of seeing people walk around that guy's junk down there, okay, with his trucks. He's had a tote of trash sitting out there for months. He's had that green truck parked out there for I don't know how many years. Now he's got 2 more out there, okay? And you have to go out into the street to traverse 4848 State Street. I want something done about it. And why everybody wants to lie to me, from the police department to the city hall here, okay? I'm not somebody that's dumb or stupid. I don't have a college education. I can read. And if you ever catch me in a lie, bring it up. So obviously nobody's saying nothing to me, so I must be speaking the truth, okay? I witnessed here about 3-4 weeks ago a motorhome dumping 2 of their tanks into the waste drainage on the street. Why didn't I call the city? Why didn't I call code enforcement? Why do you call them? nobody picks up the phone, and they're authorized not to pick up the phone. And why should I call them when they're not going to call me back? Or we have to sit there holding our phone all day long, waiting for somebody to call us back. You know, that's totally, totally unacceptable in my belief. I know a business right now that is being paid to take vehicles and cut them up. And they've been doing it for a good while now. Just as obvious as the day is long, okay? I've said this to many people. And the only person I think that I have noticed that had any real ambition to make State Street safe was an officer by the name of Lang, and he left for more money, okay? He even gave me a ticket, and I even praised him after that, because if I do something wrong, I expect to get a ticket, okay? He made State Street safe. And why the chief of police now cannot address that down there, and I know nobody, since I mentioned it to the city council about doing an assessment of that street down there and the traffic, I know no one has spent any time on State Street monitoring the speed and the illegal passing on that street. Somebody is going to get killed. Trust me, somebody's going to get killed. And I'm going to be the first one there as a witness in court when they do. There's a gentleman next to me down there that is 100% military disabled, okay? And he moves very, very, very slowly. And one of these days, he's going to get hit. You know, I'm lucky I survived, because they gave me a 20% chance of surviving, because I had dual subdural hematomas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our last speaker is Alice Garcia.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, city manager, and city attorney. You all know the history here, but let's talk about the math. Ben Lopez claimed in court he has no other income besides his city stipend, which is too low to legally garnish. He is hiding behind California debt collection limits to escape his behavior. He is essentially telling Montclair residents, I legally owe you over $500,000, but I am legally untouchable, so I'm going to keep sitting here, and he's not here. The city can't collect this debt because his stipend is below the garnishment threshold, and collecting it might put him in poverty. Let's look at the double standard. If a single mother in Montclair can't pay her utility bill, does this council say, oh, let's just walk away so we don't put her in poverty? No. You shut off her water. If a resident ignores code enforcement fines, do you drop it? No. You put a lien on their house. To my point, I see that 177 regular Montclair residents have their names and addresses on the agenda for past due trash and sewer accounts because the city is going to put liens on their properties. The grand total of what all 177 families owe combined is less than what Ben Lopez owes this city by himself. You don't have no problem using full power of the law against everyday citizens, yet when a city and council member owes the taxpayers over $500,000, the city seems to look the other way and make excuses about poverty protection. All these people did was fall victim to the economy. Ben Lopez did the unthinkable and sexually harassed 2 of our city employees. He legally owes us over $500,000. Wage garnishment is not the only tool. Why hasn't the city ordered a debtor's examination under oath to seize his bank accounts or place a lien on his assets? If you treat regular residents with iron fists when they owe the city $50, stop treating a court-adjudicated predator with velvet gloves when he owes us over $500,000. My question is to the rest of this dais, why are you letting him get away with this? If he can't manage his financial obligations or a court-ordered debt, he has absolutely no business serving as a fiduciary trustee overseeing millions of taxpayer dollars for the city of Montclair. Is this council content with letting a sexual harasser legally steal over $500,000 from our parks, our roads, and our public safety? If you fail to aggressively collect this judgment, you are violating your fiduciary duty to Montclair and granting an illegal gift of public funds. I'm going to stand here for years to come. I will not back down. Ben Lopez, if he thinks that he's gonna stay here, he's mistaken. I wish he was here, and I know that he's gonna watch this video, so he's gonna hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more speakers.
Thank you. We will now go to the public hearing item. We have one item. This is second reading to consider adoption of ordinance number 26-1017. This is relating to the development standards to facilitate our multifamily housing citywide. We've already had 2 other presentations or hearings on this item, so this will be our 3rd time around. I'm going to open up the public hearing first, see if we have any members of the public that wish to address the city council on this item. I don't hear anybody who wishes to address the city council. I'm going to close the public hearing. Any questions, comments from council members? I do know we need 3 votes today to adopt this. So if we cannot get 3 votes today, then I suggest we continue to the next meeting. So if there are no comments, questions, can I get a motion?
Excuse me. I'll make a motion for the item as presented this evening. I also have no questions because we've discussed this thoroughly.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilmember Mendez. Obviously, will be read by number title ordinance as part of the motion. This is, again, is the second reading, and we'll go ahead and vote. And that's adopted by 3 votes, 3 yes votes, and then we'll have it read. Go ahead, City Clerk.
Ordinance number 26-1017, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Montclair adding Chapter 11.79 to the Montclair Municipal Code relating to additional development standards to facilitate ministerial approvals for development of multifamily housing citywide.
Thank you very much. We will now go to the consent calendar portion of the agenda, and I'll start with Xavier. Do you have anything you wish to? Go ahead.
I just want to say that I did go through the agenda items, and I did have approximately 5 or 6 questions, which I actually met with City Manager Starr before the meeting, and he was able to answer everything. Nothing in there was majorly questioned, just I had a few small questions regarding it, but everything else looks good, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rue, you have anything? If not, can I get a
No,
motion?
I reviewed them thoroughly. I had no questions on them.
Great. Can I get a motion then?
I shall make a motion for the consent calendar as presented this evening.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilmember Mendez. We'll do electronic vote again. And that's also adopted by 3 votes, 3 yes votes. Okay, now we go on to communications. I'll start with the police department. Hot item of tonight. Well, the second, maybe the second and third hot item.
Good evening, council and city staff. Yes, it is a hot item. As some birthday parties do tend to get loud, our country's 250th birthday party was somewhat loud with fireworks, but I'll discuss what our efforts were and some of the results for the outcome at the conclusion of the holiday weekend. I just wanted to explain to staff that our enforcement efforts didn't start on that night. In anticipation for the 4th of July, the PD personnel took proactive stance in illegal use of fireworks by implementing enforcement efforts, which also was an effort with code enforcement and through the city staff by informing the public of prohibited activities, posting several signs. On June 23rd, we began issuing fireworks prohibited advisal forms to residences that it appeared firework activity was coming from, not necessarily what we witnessed, but locations that were identified as possible offenders. Illegal fireworks signs, as we all know, were placed throughout the city, and also placards on our police units approximately 2 weeks prior to the holiday. From July 3rd to July 4th during peak hours of reported activity, code enforcement also supplemented our PD patrol efforts with two-person units out in the city. And on July 4th from 4 until midnight, two-person units from code enforcement personnel were deployed, along with the department had 3 supplemental marked units patrolling the city during the same time period with a supervisor. I do have the sum of the activity, and I'll just briefly go through it. I do like to compare to the year prior, but to answer some questions, last year we had between June 1st and June 29th, we had approximately 47 calls. This year for 23. June 29th to July 3rd last year, 41. We were down to 21 this year. July 4th, 2024, we had 40 calls for service, 87 in 2025, and we were down 65 this year. We do have, as advertised, a fireworks reporting portal online, which this year we received an additional 61 reports of illegal firework activity. At the end, we did issue citations, multiple advisals. We arrived quickly at multiple scenes. We seized over approximately 40 pounds of abandoned fireworks, and I believe a lot of that was due to a response time which was quick enough to where the offenders realized we were coming. They may have fled, but they didn't take their unused fireworks with them, so we seized those and disposed of them through the fire department. So at the end of the day, it appears firework activity was down a little bit this year. Now, I know that's sometimes arguable due to some neighborhoods get hit harder than others. Some reported a quieter year. Some reported, well, it was just like every other year. The vast majority of our calls on heat maps that we created were between the streets of Orchard and Holt from all through the city, from east and west boundary. But we did have some scattered calls in the south and some up north. Regarding the activity. As we all know, firework calls sometimes aren't localized. You can hear them for several miles sometimes, so sometimes the activity was further away. But at the end of the day, we did one thing I want to note is one thing we also do with our set team is we attempt to go after those selling illicit fireworks or illegal fireworks, which all are illegal in Montclair. We did notice a vast decline in ads for illegal fireworks, whether they be hidden ads or on certain different areas of the internet. And also our online reporting of people reporting they've seen illegal sales was extremely down, I believe, to 1 call, as opposed to in the past we've had multiple calls a year of people who find illegal ads, they report them to us and we act on it. So we did attempt that avenue as well. You could say fortunately or unfortunately we didn't catch or find anyone selling them in the city that we were aware of, which could be looked at 2 different ways. And as a positive, that there weren't that many out there. The people that are obtaining these fireworks are obtaining them from different sources, it appears, whether it be out of state, out of the country, or Safe and Sane fireworks from other cities and bringing them here. As we know, they're easily concealed. The only incident that I'm aware of regarding damage from anything is we had a tree fire on Mills Avenue on the 4th, a center median city tree, a pine tree, which caught fire. I can only assume it's from some kind of aerial firework or fallout from that. I don't believe there's any power lines, but thanks to the fire department, quickly extinguished that fire. At this time, I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions of the chief?
Yes. I know it's the 250th anniversary, and I know you said that we didn't have as many calls, but I know that, where I lived, I didn't really see anybody lighting any, but like you mentioned, you could hear these things from miles, and it literally sounded like we were at war. And I know that you guys, it's hard to catch them, but but when you guys retrieve them with the fire department's assistance and all that, obviously that's a very dangerous thing, not knowing, what you're actually dealing with or picking up. So I am glad that nobody got hurt, because I know in Chino, somebody passed away from fireworks blowing up and people got injured. And I know they allow safe and sane in Chino, but not illegal. But yeah, but thank you again for everything that you guys do and the fire department. Appreciate that.
And the city's efforts with the education and code enforcement, of course. I'll add that on the online reporting portal, although it is helpful, many people reported anonymously, which made it more difficult for us. And understandably, they may not know the address where it's coming from or not want to get involved in that sense, dealing with their neighbors. But we did have a lot of, unfortunately, we were glad they called, but we had a lot of anonymous complaints, which made it a little more difficult to track.
Councilmember Rue.
Yes, thank you for the update and the efforts that were put forward. I too heard a lot of fireworks up in my neighborhood. I looked out on the street, I didn't see any. They seemed to be north of me. Again, I concur with my colleague, Councilmember Mendez. It sounded like a war zone. It started really before the 4th of July and continued. There's no way to find out where they're from because people can set them off and leave. I do know that my dog, who is 105 in dog years, so I've taken good care of her, was terrified. She would not eat her food. I had to force her to try to eat. I'm not the only one that had a pet that was scared. I know I talked to Commissioner Wells earlier. She said that her cat just hid under her bed for like 2 days. We have to think of what happened. We have to think of what happens, not just to our pets, to many children who are scared of hearing this. They don't know what's going on. So I appreciate your efforts. I also had concerns, and I continue to have the concerns as long as people are setting off fireworks, about a fire. We, 18 months ago, went through one of the most horrible fire seasons we've seen. We know what happened in the Eaton fire. In fact, anybody who thinks it was just something small needed to do what I did. I volunteered weekends and evenings at Pasadena City College to help the victims of the fire. People who lost everything, it wasn't just the home and their memories. Things melted on them. They couldn't find their bank accounts. They couldn't find their phones. Then think of all the personal memories. And I will never forget the stories I heard, and it made me very upset to know again this year people are setting off fireworks. Our brush is dry. This is not the time of year to do this. There are lots of other ways to celebrate the 4th of July, and in fact, many of the local entities that would have fireworks shows canceled them this year. And that was an appropriate thing to do. So I appreciate what you've done. I know it's difficult to get everybody. People have asked me, why can't we catch them? I said, well, you have to catch them in the act. I know that next year we'll be even more vigilant on this. And just thank you to everybody who's been involved and for all of the citizens who did the right thing. They just didn't set off fireworks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I appreciate the hard work of our staff and police and obviously fire and also code enforcement. You know, last night they were shooting off fireworks behind me in the county area. So I decided to get in my car and drive over there and figure out where it came from, which I found it, called the sheriff's department. Of course, after I called them, the whole thing stopped. But, you know, you saw what happened in Chino. You know, they have a helicopter now. They had drones. You know, it's one of the questions. Maybe we should have drones and do the same thing. And you saw what happened. Somebody died. Blew up on the street. Somebody died. And then you saw what happened in Newport Beach. And then I think there was some gentleman in a car and decided to light a cigarette up. Only problem, he had fireworks in the car, and that blew up someplace in LA, and he's got multi-degree burns. You know, the problem with fireworks is it's not just a Montclair problem, it's throughout Southern California, both including in the richer cities as well. It's everywhere. And the issue is it's coming into California. It's coming in from other states, and it's coming from probably China through our ports. And there is no enforcement, if there is, and is very little enforcement from the state of California to really deal with the illegal fireworks coming from the state. No, I'm on regional council, SCAG, and I did ask this morning, can SCAG get involved and maybe do something, or to at least study the issue, but obviously this is not SCAG's role, maybe it is their role, I don't know. But really, what the executive director said is, it is the state of California role. Our legislator needs to step in and start studying this issue and understanding what's going on. The governor's office needs to get more involved and really understand what is it gonna take to discourage or to not allow illegal fireworks to enter California. You know, when you drive in from Las Vegas, I think there's a place that sells somewhere close to the state line, they sell fireworks. Well, we have an agriculture stem. You got to stop and talk about food. Why can't we also regulate, make sure that fireworks not illegally entering the state of California, as one example. So that's where it needs to go. This state needs to do a greater job in the enforcement of illegal fireworks, especially coming to the state. So I don't know what it's going to take to do that, but as far as what we're doing here, we're just playing the cat and mouse game. This is nothing but a cat and mouse game. That, I mean, I don't say that negatively. We're doing the best job we can, but it's amazing the amount of illegal fireworks that people have in their hands. So when we can figure that part out, the enforcement part, to prevent fireworks from coming to California, or at least reduce it somehow, then maybe we get a better handle. Until then, this is the best we can do. I think Montclair PD and along with our staff have done a very good job getting the word out, getting the signs out, getting the social media out, having the extra patrols to truly try to monitor it. And yes, it would help if people, like I did, instead of being just calling in but don't want to give your information out, go out and try to find where they're at, and then call Montclair PD. They're over here at 5109 on Carriage Street, to blown up in front of the house. That'll make your guys' job a lot easier to respond and actually make contact with the residents there, even if they don't see any fireworks being lit off. You can see them on the streets, but you can see something. I assume that would help a lot, Chief, if people gave you an address.
Yes, I will add a couple things to that. We are looking into some law and some enforcement tools that some other cities have used as far as sometimes they call the social host type laws and activities. There has been a shift in firework usage. Back when I was working patrol, we sometimes had the whole department on for the 4th of July. Every single officer working, except for those that were at home sleeping for the next shift. And there was a shift from safe and sane, where families would sit out front and watch fireworks, and they would be, even though they were illegal, then we would come up to the scene and we would still be able to capture those that are still lighting them off and using them. It seems that has shifted from that type of family atmosphere, whether it was illegal or not, it still was, to running around and lighting them in the middle of the street somewhere and taking off. We received some calls that people were shooting those ones that shoot out like Roman candles in the alley at each other, horse playing, extremely dangerous projectiles, but they're not sitting out front like they used to, and we used to be able to go to a party and seize it and write citations that way. So it has been a shift. So that means we have to shift in our enforcement efforts as well in the future. And to what Councilmember Rue stated, I mentioned the south end of the city where we received a lot of our calls, but oddly enough, on our illegal fireworks report or online, there's an extreme heat map up north near the 10 freeway and Central during that time. So maybe some activity was occurring north of there, or a show or something. But like I said, I don't hesitate to say that it was not quiet for people. I'm not saying it was quiet. There were less people called us this year as an indication out of frustration or what, I don't know, of calling and not knowing that probably nothing can happen. But you have to remember, when a call comes in, the person lit the fireworks off, that people picks up their phone, they call us, they get the information from dispatch sends it to an officer drives down there. There's a time delay sometimes on those calls.
There's that too.
Really, it has to shift to after the act enforcement, and that is like the host ordinance, or gets to gather intel of what house people went into, and then cite the homeowner later on if that's possible. That's really a shift that probably would help and discourage some of that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And then we'll go with Human Services Department.
Great. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'd like to invite you to join us for our 65th annual concert and movie series, bringing you free entertainment right here at Alma Hoffman Park every Tuesday through August 4th. Tomorrow, July 7th, join us to watch the new Disney Pixar animated movie Hoppers at 8 p.m., along with Kids Crafts, and the dessert truck will be there, sweet and snowy. On July 14th, we'll have our vendor fair from 6 to 8:30. Browse and shop a variety of craft vendors, enjoy family activities, face painting, and a delicious food truck, the Family Pizza. Live music by Smooth Sounds of Santana, which is a tribute to the music of Carlos Santana, will start at 7 p.m. A few reminders for these park evenings: admission is always free. Everyone's welcome. Remember to bring your blankets, lawn chairs, friends, and family. We'll have free crafts and activities for the kids to enjoy, along with food trucks at each concert and movie night. Flyers are available right here by the chamber entrance with more information. As always, please check the city's social media for any updates. If you need any further information, feel free to contact our Human Services Department at the Recreation Center. And this concludes our department's announcements. Thank you.
Attorney, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask that the council meet in closed session on a few items. Number one in the agenda, it mentions 3 potential cases of potential litigation against the city. I only have 2, not 3. The second item I'm pulling, that's one potential case of the city initiating litigation. On number 3 are the pending litigation matters, and I'm pulling the last one. So we'll just meet on the Barraza, the Ibanez, and the Ontario Montclair versus the IEUA. And then the 4th item is for the council to meet in closed session regarding labor negotiations with our labor negotiator, Mr. Starr.
Great,
That's
thank
all I
you.
have this evening.
Great. City Manager?
No items.
Thank you. This evening, I'd like to adjourn this meeting in memory of a longtime Montclair Public Works employee. That's Greg Ibarra, and I assume Councilmember Mendez will have some more things to say about him. I want to state I wasn't there at the country fair, but I understand it was a big success, so thank you to staff for doing that. Obviously, if you're not aware of it by now, 2 weeks ago, Dutch Bros or Brothers opened here in Montclair. So I haven't been there to get a coffee yet, but I will be there pretty soon. And there in the month of July, I just recognize, obviously, July 1 was Canada Day. And then July 14 will be Bastille Day for the French. It's also my 25th anniversary on July 14, so I'll be in Boise, Idaho to celebrate. And then, of course, in July is also National Parents Day. And I will move on, and let's start with Councilmember Biru.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was unable to attend the country fair event because I was in Washington, D.C. for work. And Julianne is looking, she knows how many times I have to go there for work. We talk quite a bit, and it's the nature of my job, but I heard that it went very, very well, and I appreciate that. I also want to thank the Senator, Susan Rubio, for having her coffee here in Montclair. You heard a little bit about it earlier, but it was a tremendous success. Our staff had arranged for about 80 chairs and accommodations for that number. Well, it well exceeded that. We had a lot of people coming in all morning. It was great. The senator gave updates on what she's doing legislatively. She talked to the group. She answered questions. She was able to help some people as far as issues dealing with the state. Her staff was there on hand. It was wonderful. Our staff did a great job. We had our police and fire there on and off. I appreciate it when it's an overflow crowd. In fact, we had people from San Dimas, Laverne, Pomona, Ontario, and Chino who showed up. They just heard about it and they were pleased to be able to be there. I also was very pleased to see Councilmember Nora Garcia from Pomona. She was there just to lend support to the senator, and I thought that was wonderful to just come out and show the support for this. People People did not want to leave. They were hanging around all day. In the lobby, when it was about ending, a resident came up to me and asked me a couple questions on things I've been able to help her with. But she asked me about, of all things, Proposition 13. She said, "Do you support this?" And I said, "Absolutely, I always have, I always will." It's one of the things that's keeping people in their homes. She was an older resident, and she said that she's struggling to afford some of her property taxes. She's been able to do it, and she said without Proposition 13, she wouldn't be able to do that. And I said, I appreciate that. I know a lot of people who need it. So I was glad I was able to let her know that as far as one person up here, we are very supportive of Prop 13. I also wanted to share something that came in our Edison billing, and I've already asked for more copies of it from Edison. It's about their CARE program, and it's the new income guidelines to get a relief on your electric bill. If you are a household of 1 to 2, making up to a little over $43,000, you qualify. It goes all the way up to 8 people in a household, making $111,000, and after that, $11,000 for every person in that home. It is not uncommon to have a 4-bedroom home with 8 people living in there. Families are big. And so I've asked for more of these. I want to get them out, not just the senior center, the youth center, but in other places in the city where I know people will be reading and looking at this stuff. It's very important right now to take advantage of any discounts you can get. And that's all I'm going to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask Councilmember Mendez to speak, staff reminded me of another longtime resident, past employee, and volunteer that passed away here recently. Her name is Ann Marino, and she also used to be the bus driver for the seniors and worked at our recreation center front desk. So we will also recognize Ann Marino and adjourn this meeting in her memory. And Councilmember Mendez.
Well, that is very sad news to hear about Ann Marino. I enjoyed, always talking to her when I worked at the yard. She'd bring the bus down to get worked on, and Mike Lawrence and, would work on her car, or the bus, but that's very sad to hear. But talking about sad, yes, Greg Ibarra, who was our Public Works Equipment Maintenance Supervisor for, I believe he was with the city for 20 years, maybe 21. He retired, I believe, back in 2005. I talked to his daughter, Lisa, who gave me all the information. I shared it with a lot of city personnel that I know hadn't heard about it, so they were all very appreciative of it. But he did pass away on June 11th of 2026. His services will be this July 9th, and I believe it's in Chino at St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church at 10 in the morning on July 9th in Chino. Again, it's very sad. I remember Greg for many years working with him, and I have so many amazing stories about him, that I won't share here, but if anybody ever wants to know, I'll definitely tell them. The Country Fair Jamboree, I did attend that, and also did Carissa Martinez also attended that. Lots of booths and lots of people showed up. I actually participated in the watermelon eating contest. I thought I won, but I didn't, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't done that in a long time, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you, Human Services, for putting on another great event, and it was really well attended, and I know that people really had a great time there. As far as Ann Marino, again, very, very sad to hear that, and I'll talk to you later about that. I was off last week. I went to South Dakota. I've been there a couple times to go to Sturgis, but this time I went as a tourist and actually went through all the Black Hills, the Badlands, went and saw Devil's Tower, And if you haven't been to South Dakota, what a beautiful place to go to. And there's so much to see. I would recommend it to anybody. An amazing place. Like I said, I've been there a few times for Sturgis, but I never went out and saw everything. I just went there for the Harley run, and it was really nice to see everything out there. But anyways, again, thank you to the police and fire and code enforcement for everything they did for 4th of July. And that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And then one more thing that may happen Wednesday, there's potentially interruptions to the mentoring service because of a union discussions going on that a strike may happen starting tomorrow at 11:59 if this is not resolved by then. So there's a potentially that we may not have mentoring services starting Wednesday. So FYI. Okay, we'll go into closed session. Thank you.